While some of the most conservative congressmen in Washington are working to end Saturday delivery of the mail, letter carriers across the country and here at Garden City are calling attention to why six-day service is so important to our economy. Congressman, tell us why Saturday delivery is so important for Rhode Island.
Well, I'm here with all these great letter carriers to raise awareness about why it's important to preserve the Saturday delivery. Six-day delivery is what we've always known the Postal Service to stand for, and getting the mail delivered there in a timely manner, reliably. And to have Saturday delivery go away, I think would have unintended consequences that we can't anticipate fully right now. I think it would impact seniors, I think it would impact businesses, I think it would impact communities, and I don't want to see that happen. I think there are alternatives that we can look at before we even think about having to eliminate Saturday delivery. I think this is a action of last resort, eliminating Saturday delivery, but it seems to be that in some members of Congress think it's an option of first resort. It's the thing that we should look at first, and I disagree. I think that's a backwards approach.
About 200 members of the National Letter Carriers Association gave up a gorgeous Sunday afternoon today to educate Rhode Islanders about how crucial Saturday delivery is for the small businesses here in the Ocean State. It's also critical to the thousands of people that work for the post office here in Rhode Island. Do you know, Ingrid, how many people does the post office employ here in Rhode Island?
Letter carriers, they employ about 50,000.
50,000. Yeah. How many jobs do you think would be in jeopardy if we ended Saturday service?
Probably about a quarter of the workforce.
Okay,
so we're talking quite
more than 10,000 jobs.
We're talking quite a big number of jobs, yes. Okay. Because you're also talking, besides the letter carriers who actually do the delivery, you're also talking there'd be a decrease in the mail handlers and the clerks who work at the plant and get the mail ready for those days, as well as the rural letter carriers who function in the, not the city, but in the rural part of the state. So those people would also be affected and lose their jobs. So that's how many jobs you're talking, quite a few, just in the state.
Postmaster General Patrick Donahue is trying to end Saturday service as a way to cut costs.
Our Postmaster General has decided that, hey, let's just get rid of service, get rid of this and that, and we're just going to go away. And that's why, basically, we're saying now is that we need a new Postmaster General. He has to go. We got to get rid of him.
But Congress and the Congressional Budget Office told management last week that it doesn't have the authority to do so. Still, conservative Republicans Darrell Issa of California and Tom Coburn of Oklahoma are looking for an end around to that decision so they can slowly starve to death Saturday service. Fortunately, there's a way to save money, jobs, and mail delivery in the United States, which is constitutionally mandated, by the way. Many people assume that it's email that's doing in the post office, but that's not the case. While first-class mail is dropped off a little, we all know we still get plenty of stuff in our mailboxes every day.
It's important all around the country. A lot of people, whether it's in their personal lives or their businesses, depend on Saturday deliveries.
The post office has traditionally been self-sufficient, supporting itself by selling stamps and offering other services. In fact, only a decade ago, it was overpaying its retirement obligations by more than $70 million. So the Republican-led Congress and George W. Bush have figured out a new way to starve this efficient and egalitarian public service. They passed a law in 2007 forcing the post office to put aside more than $5 billion a year to pre-fund its retirement obligations, a requirement that no other government agency has to adhere to, and despite the fact that its pension fund was already very healthily overfunded. While the post office faces increasing competition from the internet and private delivery corporations, politicians in Washington are putting artificial economic barriers in the way of its success. This means service suffers for the many small businesses and others who rely on mail in Rhode Island. And for some of the letter carriers here today at Garden City, could also mean their jobs. This is Bob Plain for Labor Vision and RIFuture.org.